My pleasure, and thank you for the opportunity to talk to you about my big passion, which is this kind of play, which we also call serious play. I cannot in 15 minutes give you sort of everything about what is this about, but will try and give you some sense of what is the theoretical foundation, what are the principles on this kind of play, because play can be many things, and try to sort of differentiate a little bit about it also. Because I have spent the last 20 plus years of my life really sort of investigating or exploring or working on what we call serious play, or play with a purpose. And play can be many things. When we talk about serious play, we talk about using play as one way of problem solving, one way of thinking, one way of communicating, which has certain benefits. That doesn't mean that this is the only way, but this is, what we mean by serious play. And to understand my interest in serious play, then I've actually always been really, really interested in my professional life in terms of creating what I would call sustainable change. In change processes that are sustainable means that they actually have buy-in from people, that it concerns, that people are confident that this change process really will happen, right? And people are committed to whatever they need to change, right? Because way too many change processes comes top down, where some 20% of the people involved in the change process decide what the 80% has to do in order to make the change happen. And otherwise, change processes should also be supported bottom up. But real sustainable change processes actually has to be both top down and bottom up at the same time. So you get this, what we call totally involvement of people in the process, because otherwise it doesn't lead to sustainable change. So I've always really been interested in that also before I encountered this idea of the serious play. But the thing is, we all know that creating sustainable change process is really, really not easy. It sounds good in theory, but how is it that you both have initiative that comes top down, but you also have the implementation coming bottom out, where people actually are committed and confident and buy into it? So my history in terms of Lego serious play and serious play goes way back, sort of before the turn of the century. Because the Lego company had these challenges that the owner of the Lego company really felt that his executive team had a hard time imagining that the future could be more challenging for the company than it was currently. They could not really imagine that there could be times in the Lego company where they would sort of have to fight competition and stuff like that. So he felt that getting their imagination was really tough, right? So he had this, I thought, well, we claim that bricks are good for children's imagination. Maybe we can also use bricks for adults to help them create their imagination and create scenarios, come with ideas and stuff like that. And they did some work and couldn't really get the process to work. So I got involved in it because my expertise is really, how can you create learning processes for making stuff? So actually using your hands and making tangible stuffs, which you then can help you learn stuff. So my sort of short version of what I do, I help people learn from making stuff. In this case, of making stuff out of Lego bricks. So I ultimately got sort of involved in this process here and developed a process which is called the Lego serious play process, which is a way of creating a risk-free, playful environment where people can sort of brainstorm, can have ideas, can problem solve without having to worry about how do we do the implementation here and now. So people having a risk-free, they can explore, because I know, well, I can suggest crazy ideas because I'm not going to necessarily be held responsible for how to implement these ideas. So you get much bigger ideas. And I ultimately had this process ready and said, okay, I think this is going to work, and tried it out on my own team, which had not been involved in development. I had a research and development team with designers and programmers, and also a couple of administrative people, including my administrative, really young assistant. And we ultimately used this way of playing and this way of problem solving to think about our own development in the team. And what really astonished me was that the best answers, the most insightful answers came from the most silent people in the room. It came from my Shannon, my administrative assistant. She had the deepest insight. She had the best insight. She had the best sort of new knowledge to bring to the table. And this was for me this moment of, whoa, man, if you can find ways, playful ways, creating risk-free, where you can actually fully tap into people's potential, whoever they are, whether they're, sort of really introvert or extrovert or whatever, right? If you can sort of get this 100% extraction of people's knowledge and people's commitment and people's confidence, you really have a process that can help you build changes that goes both top down and bottom up at the same time. This was my big one. Wow, we have something here. We have a method that is really powerful in order to somehow unlock potential, unlock ideas, give people commitment, make people feel included, and make people feel that they've been heard in terms of that. So when they've been included, they've been part of the process, they will also buy into the change, and they will be confident that change will actually happen, right? So this is what play for us is about. Now, the term play, and I might sort of go across some of you what you're talking about here. Play is like the term innovation. Everybody has a different understanding of what it is. For some people, play is frivolous and some kind of a fun-driven stuff like that. For others, it's serious, right? Some people talk about play as games or as simulation and stuff like that. The kind of play I talk about is not games, because the kind of play I talk about is using play to solve real problems in real times, in real groups. Game is also good, but the thing with games is that games typically have winners or losers. You either win the game or you lose the game. Simulation is also something different. We don't, with the kind of play we do, we don't simulate stuff. Let's simulate that we have work as a team to solve something together. And then based on this simulation, you have to transfer that into your real life. Play, in terms of serious play, is real. It's dealing with real issues in real time. We're not sort of stating this as a game. We're not kind of sort of putting up as a simulation, stuff like that. So this is play. And you can say, what is the purpose of having a problem-solving technique that is based on play? Of course, the purpose is to come up with solutions for something real. That you make decisions, have a deep understanding of something. That is the purpose. But why create sort of a play zone where you then can prepare your decisions? This is because play zone and play must be risk-free. Because the more risk-free it is when you suggest ideas, then the more ideas, the better ideas will come. And one way to think about what is a risk-free, playful environment is really, when you're online, maybe looking for a new travel to somewhere or shopping for something, you always know you can try this and I can try this and can try this and can try this. But ultimately you come to the button where it says place the order or pay and confirm. Now it's no longer play. This is the difference, right? If people in an environment continuously feel whenever I say something, I'm actually already saying I'm pushing this button here, I'm placing this order here, people will be much less hesitant to somehow suggest crazy ideas that could lead to new things and stuff like that. So this feeling of it's risk-free, I can suggest things, I can try things, we can do all these kind of things, right? Because there will be a moment where we'll have to place the order, but that moment is not now. When you transition from exploring to this is what we're going to do, it's no longer play. So play, how it's defined in, you can say in literature and stuff like that, is really this thing that play, well, people want to get together because they want to do something together. Somehow they need to get together. Second, you follow a specific set of rules when you interact. Third, you apply your imagination. and forth, what you actually produce doesn't really have any value in itself. Actually, when you do budgeting and forecasting or budgeting in companies, it's actually play. Because people get together because they need to make a budget for something. They follow a specific set of rules when they do it right. They apply their imagination because they think about what they will sell, what they will spend, what they will use of cost, right? And the actual budget in terms of the piece of paper has absolutely no value in itself. So play is a situation where you follow a certain set of rules, you apply your imagination, and the actual outcome is really just some insight. So when we play in Lego serious play, and we play seriously here, we also have a set of rules we follow when we do serious play and when we play in this problem solving zone. Rule number one is people have time to think before they have to start talking. People have to think with their hands, meaning they have to use their Lego bricks, the hands, right? Everything we do is what we call 100-100, meaning that every person must build, everybody must participate, every person must be part of all processes. So we don't get the 20-80 syndrome where 20% of the people around the table that use 80% of the talking time, etc. We get a 100, right? And ultimately we always communicate to an object. So when we play this kind of problem solving, which is called serious play, we give people time to think before they have to start talking. This thinking comes in the terms of a Lego model. You have to build it in terms of using your hands to think with, because there's a bunch of stuff that helps you unlock more knowledge, right? It always has to be 100-100, right? And all communication happens to an object. So this is really what the rules we follow when we play what we call serious play. Now, obviously, the play or using this approach to problem solving, which we call play, serious play, is of course based on the belief that if people are included, if people feel part of the processes, people will also feel committed. So bottom line, what we try to do with our players, we try to unlock all the potential that exists in the room, in people. We try to build everybody's confidence that whatever solution we come up with, once we finally push the button, we are confident this is the best way. We try to build people's commitment. You know what? I will commit to doing this here. I feel part of the process. It is a bottom-up process in terms of that. Yes, I think I have sort of approximately used my time. Is that correct, Robert? Any closing questions? I could talk forever, and of course, we should do some this way. But I think the key thing is this is simply a way of problem solving, following a specific set of rules, which then delivers a certain output, which really is based on getting maximum knowledge out of people, getting maximum confidence out of people, getting maximum commitment out of people to whatever process they are part of it. So we get this sustainable change, which comes both top down and bottom up at the same time. This is really what it is. And then it's about having fun with the Lego bricks and communicate to the brick side.